Pranic healing, inner peace, better relationships, spiritual connection, health, balance, harmony, joy, love. Welcome to the podcast of How Pranic Healing Changed My Life. I'm your host, Nicole Fouche, and this podcast shares the many benefits of pranic healing and how people's lives have changed for the better after becoming involved in this revolutionary healing modality. We will share testimonials from people who have experienced the multiple benefits of pranic healing and how they have integrated the teachings into their lives. This relaxed platform shares the raw, authentic, heartfelt stories and the miracles that have unfolded. I hope these stories inspire you. So welcome to this next segment of our podcast, How Pranic Healing Changed My Life. And week on week, I know I say this every week, we just hear the most incredible, inspiring, beautiful stories of just how the system of pranic healing is changing people's lives, and sometimes the most unexpected ways. When you look at how people find pranic healing and what their initial reason for finding pranic healing is, and where they end up 6 to 12 months later, can be a completely different story. So I'm excited to introduce you to Daryl this morning. Welcome, Daryl.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So I'd like you to share. I remember the very first time I met you so clearly, but let's take it half a step back. What was the thing that drew you to pranic healing? What did you come in looking for? Like, what was that first step like for you?
Well, I don't think I was looking. I think it was more about I was doing a certain kind of healing yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't want to drive to my yoga instructor's home, she rented a space kindly from you in the Pranic Healing Center. And that was my introduction to pranic healing, kind of like it was meant to be. And I think I met you that first time. And long story short about that, I'm no longer, right or wrong, doing the yoga, but I'm just on the road with pranic healing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I'll recall the first time I met you, you came in for a session, and I'm not gonna lie, like my eyes were like this big, because when we start a healing session, we like to get a bit of background information of what's going on, like why are you looking for pranic healing, what do you need? And I literally remembered writing like 2 pages of just stuff you were battling with, and you had actually committed to memory, like literally this thing, that thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And I was like, oh my goodness me, like where do I even start? This person's got so much stuff going on with them, physically, mentally, emotionally. And anyway, we started the healing sessions, and I'll let you take on from there. But you came in with a lot of stuff, Daryl. Let's be real, right?
Well, to validate that point, it was not like really committed to memory, or if it was because it was so much and so felt physically, emotionally. I retired by choice because of COVID, not by choice to retire. It was wonderful the first month, but then I started feeling I had different physical symptoms. And those are all the ones that I've had over the years, but nothing like this. And you helped me realize it's coming from a lot of emotions. My job was my identity, who was for 40 years. And I think I started going to you twice a week. I remember my first time sitting with you and Lynn and Elisa.
And Anita, yeah.
Anita, yes.
So we had a word of warning. I know it was Laurie that referred you to the Pranic Healing, and she's like, oh my gosh, this lady's got so much stuff. I think you need like more than one of you. So I got my pack of 4, and we sat in the meditation room, and as I said, you just went through so many
physical things that you were suffering with that at that time felt like all encompassing, like you were just in this bubble of pain and discomfort and hurt, and just really, you really were feeling miserable with all that stuff.
I really was. I really was. So I think that led to me seeing you and the girls maybe twice a week. And I think, I don't remember the exact schedule, but we weaned off to then once a week, or no, twice a week, one virtual, one at home. I needed you to reassure me that if I do it virtual, it's going to work. And then when you said, well, it'll also go in your house.
Okay, so that I still remember that so clearly. So you came in person, we had a wonderful session, and even after that first session, I could feel like a lot had lifted from your system, and you were already like, my gosh, like I'm feeling so much better, so much calmer, so much more relaxed. And then I had to broach the topic of, okay, Daryl, the next session we're going to do remotely. You'll be at home, you'll connect with us on Zoom. And you were like, what? I don't have to physically be here. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about Pranic Healing is we have the tools to do remote or distant healing. And that was one of the things we relied on so heavily during the COVID period of 3 years, where we could still connect with our clients as we're talking on Zoom now. We were able to do that with our clients. And the healing is just as effective in your own home as it is in the center. And that's something that I'm just so grateful that we have that tool at our disposal, especially during the last 3 years where people weren't able to move, and we were able to get that help to people that needed it. Like literally any time of day or night, we had pranic healers working. So you saw the benefits of that, right, Daryl?
Yeah, I felt like it was getting to my husband. It was going all over the house. It was just wonderful.
That's another good point that you bring up there. When we do the distant healing and you're in your home, your family's connected to you, you're in your space. When you're receiving that healing remotely, it is definitely impacting the rest of your family and bringing that energy into your home, which is just a lovely extra benefit for the distant pranic healing. And I'll come back to another comment you said where you were discussing so many physical things that were going on. And at some point, I recall we started getting kind of firm with you in terms of the thoughts that you were creating and the words that you were using, because I recall at the time you were coming in, my back is sore, my neck is sore, this is sore, like just running through all the different things that you were going through physically. And immediately we stopped and said, right, let's focus on what is right in your body. What is working? How much percentage are you feeling better versus how much pain or discomfort is still there? And it was such a small little shift in perspective and a small shift in how you expressed yourself. And as I said, it was something we were pretty firm with, because the thoughts you think, the words you say are what you're going to be attracting. And if you're constantly focusing on the pain and focusing on the discomfort, you're actually just magnifying all of that. Whereas when you started the practice of gratitude and started the practice of, you know what, I'm 10% better today than I was yesterday, or I'm 5% better, or my pain's 1% better, that is what magnifies with that. And you really took that to heart, right, Daryl? You've been practicing that really.
Oh, well, shame on me for not knowing that, because what I did for a living, teaching preschool, it's all in your vocabulary, your words. And I'm like this with that, with preschoolers. So to not, shame on me for that. But I think that's why I was a kind of a quick learner, because it makes sense to me.
Yeah, and you saw the importance of it. And I think when that shift started happening, that is when the miracles started to like really manifest in your life. I mean, there were times where you were like physically stuck at home because you were just so uncomfortable and dealing with so much and so limited. And I mean, now you're out and about, you're living a normal life, and you've kind of regained that sense of freedom and that sense of well-being, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
And the good thing about it also is just ironically that the stars were aligned. I had reached out to you after I was just doing some healing on myself when something in my family happened. Or no, I reached out to you because I was going through something emotional a few days later, and you put me in this healing group that you have that I'm loving twice a week. It's our opportunity to give back, healing other people, them healing you. And then a few days after that, something did happen in my family. It was like, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. There was there was a lot of divine timing there. So I'm going to retrack those steps. So I remembered you had this miraculous healing result. I mean, you really did well. The next step then was you took the level 1 basic pranic healing class, which a lot of us healers encourage our clients to become responsible for their own healing. And that is the thing we love is, you know, you come in for your healings, you get the results. But for me, the magic lies in taking that first level 1 class so that you have the tools to be able to heal yourself and maintain your good health in between your healing sessions and indefinitely if possible. And you were fantastic with that, where you would have your sort of morning routine of what you would do and, you know, clean your aura, clean your chakras, disconnect any unhealthy connections. You were doing that. And the next step was then, all right, Daryl, you've got these tools. You've seen how it works. Why don't you join our healing pod? And essentially what the healing pod is anyone who's taken pranic healing, most of them are students that I've trained. We give them the opportunity to join online twice a week. And we heal members of our community that are struggling with all sorts of different things. We usually work with fairly complex cases, psychological cases, as well as physical cases, such as cancer and arthritis and, you know, fibromyalgia, really, really complex things. And it gives all of the pranic healers an opportunity to work with people from such a heart-centered, service-oriented place. And truly, this is just the most wonderful group of people that literally show up twice a week to heal random strangers. I mean, that in and of itself, and we've been doing this like literally nonstop since the beginning of 2020. And the group has just grown in strength and in numbers, and the work that we're doing is phenomenal. So you joined the group, and literally, I remember within a couple of days, there was a crisis, and literally every member of the group were in the space of, how do we help you? How can we?
I'm getting goosebumps when you say that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing I love about the group is that every single person, when there's one of us in crisis, everybody jumps in. How can we help? And just having that background support, that safety net, knowing that there's people out there that have got your back. And if you're having a bad day, we've got the tools to help you. If there's a crisis, how do we help you get through that? That speaks volumes. So I'm sorry, kind of went off on a tangent there, but
no, I mean, it's true.
Like, how has that process been for you, going from being somebody that needed a huge amount of healing to now you're the one giving support and healing to other people?
Well, for one thing, I didn't go into this, and I'm still not going into it to become a pranic healer, like to have my own facility. You know that it's for myself and my loved ones. So yeah, it's a little neat for me to do a little bit of the pranic healing, get a little taste of that. What was and still is mind-boggling to me is there's people all over the world in this. It's just amazing. And also, you know, yes, the Tampa Bay area is growing, but there's still so much we don't have. And I just feel so fortunate that I live in Tampa Bay, which is what's Tampa Bay, and I have a pranic healing center 10 minutes from me, and I met Nicole, and that is amazing that I have it right here and I don't have to travel to come to you. How fortunate that we are as far as that.
We're very blessed. We're very blessed to have the space and the facility for the community. I mean, that is just like a fantastic bonus, and I'm so grateful that we have that. That being said, as you were saying in the healing pod, we've got people from Australia, from Singapore, from Hong Kong, from India, from all over the USA, all people from all different
All over.
gathering together for the common good of humanity. And I've so often said, when we look at the philosophy of pranic healing, of just being good people wanting to do good and helping somebody who is suffering, that was the message of our teacher, to alleviate the suffering of humanity and to get people and such diverse groups of people together with a common goal of healing and doing goodness. Like, for me, that is a philosophy for life. Like, if we could all just be a little bit more like that in our daily lives, what a different place the world would be. And again, referencing our teacher, Master Cho Koksui, his goal was to have one pranic healer per family. That was his goal. So simple. And when you look at the volume of what that represents, I mean, you've just seen in your small little bubble of your life, having those teachings, being able to heal yourself, to work on family members, and now to give back to society. All of that is encompassed in that one pranic healer per family. And I think that's what really motivates me and gives me the passion, because you see people's lives changing. And just in the short time that I've known you, Daryl, it's been a year, maybe 2 years, where you were and where you are now, I mean, are worlds apart, right?
Yes. I mean, this, I would give the advice to someone, don't ever retire. Mine was not by choice, but don't retire unless you have a plan. Well, I had no plan. I fell into my plan. Like, as you said, the stars were aligned. It was divine intervention. Yeah, and I just found this, and this is my passion. It's truly my passion.
Fantastic. And I think that's so important, because we do have a number of people that have retired in our healing pod. And I think when a lot of people retire, they lose, one, their sense of self, but also, what do I do now? And you've got a lifetime of wisdom and experiences and so much to look back on, and it's not being channeled anywhere. And that's the thing I love about pranic healing, is you don't need any special skills or gifts or physical strength or anything to do this work. It literally comes from the heart. And I think to be in a space where every single week you're adding value to people's lives, you're valued, what you're sharing is valuable, that must give you a really good sense of importance and a sense of value in terms of where you are right now.
It does. Something that I've always struggled with, even in my career. My first boss, she said, look what you're doing. It's amazing with these children, blah, 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 blah. I never feel it. So I get warm and bubbly and fuzzy from doing it, but I don't feel like I'm working on it. It doesn't feel like I'm doing anything special, but you reinforce to me I am, because I feel like I'm, have so much to learn.
Absolutely. And I think just showing up and being there to help somebody is more than what 80% of regular people are doing. Let's be real. I mean, you're waking up to do service for people that you don't even know. I mean, that is commendable. And when we get the testimonials from the group healing, I mean, those testimonials are phenomenal. They're nothing short of miraculous. And that's the thing that I love, is we can do pranic healing one-on-one, but we can also do it in a group. And it's just something special about doing it in a group. So Daryl, if you had to imagine there's some random person out there listening to this podcast, and you had one message for this person that would potentially just be that little nudge that they needed in life, what would you share with them?
Just do it. you don't have to have, which you taught me, any skill, any insight. You don't have to have any mental telepathy, anything. Anybody can do this. And it just is a valuable, valuable tool that I have in my life. And truly, you don't need to be something you think you're not, because anyone can do this. You just have to have the interest and I think the motivation, like anything else.
Right. That's exactly right. My teacher said, if there's a willingness to learn and you've got 2 hands, you can do pranic healing. I mean, literally, that is it. And it's quite incredible to have teachings that are so accessible and available to everyone from many different walks of life. You know, we've had medical doctors taking pranic healing, and we've had stay-at-home moms take pranic healing, and they both get what they need out of the system. And that is profound, that one system can cater to the needs of so many different people from so many different walks of life, from many different religious backgrounds, from different cultures. Pranic healing is the one thing that just brings all of that together. And the pranic family truly is a global family. When we travel anywhere in the world and you bump into a pranic healer, you recognize each other. It's like you've got an extended family, and it's just something I think the world needs right now.
I totally agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Well, thank you, Daryl, for sharing.
Thank you. This was my
been
pleasure. This was fun.
And I love being able to witness the change in people's lives. It really, that's food for my soul when I just see people blossoming and growing and really following their divine purpose and their soul purpose, which a lot of people don't even know, you know, what that purpose is. So thank you for sharing all of that today, and
You're welcome.
wish you continued success in your pranic healing journey.
Thank you. Bye.